Good evening, everybody, and thank you for coming out this evening. I know it's a little cold tonight, a little windy, but thanks for being here. It's very important. The last meeting we could not finish because we got kicked out of the auditorium. So tonight, we're going to reverse the schedule. We're going to put the public session first. Those who called the board office, and there were 6 people who called, are going to be the first people who get a chance to be able to speak. After that, time permitting, we're leaving 7 to 7:30 for public discussion. After that, whoever wants to be able to speak, please, one person per organization, to allow everyone a chance to be able to speak. So, each person is going to get a chance to speak for 3 minutes, for the record. Right. For the record, this is the November 18th, 2014 General Meeting of Community Board 9. Will Mr. Alan Berger come forward? Is Mr. Berger here?
Yeah, I'm here. Yeah. Where do I speak? Here?
Yeah, no, come over here to the mic on the right side, please. Testing. Mrs. Sandra Stoblar, could you please come forward? Karen Fleming, Jenny Soren, Timothy Thomas, and Suan Chong, please come forward. All right, Mr. Berger.
Okay, hi everybody. Thank you. I'm Alan Berger. Been a resident of PLG now for 7 years. We talked about the zoning, change of zoning resolution. I'm really concerned about the resolution in its current state and its potential effect on the city planning study and any future development resulting from it. First of all, I feel strongly that the motion to rescind this resolution that occurred in the September meeting should have been brought back to the floor for further discussion. And after 16 members voted for the motion, almost twice as many that voted against. So I think that definitely merited further discussion. Second, the resolution contains language that is just too ambiguous and not concrete enough for the community to have adequate control over the development process and final outcome. Phrases such as inclusionary zoning, contextual multi-use development, and increased residential and commercial density are too vague and can be used by developers to get around the spirit of the resolution. And will result in development we don't need or want. We need more specific language so everyone knows what the community is really asking for. Third, the community needs more time and opportunity to learn about and have input on the resolution in any future study and any proposed zoning changes. We need more public hearings now. Regarding the density issue, we're already becoming more dense. Over 1,000 plus units, residential units are coming on the market now and over the next year or two in the PLG area. At current averages, this would mean about 3,000 more people. This is like adding 2 more Lefferts Manors to the neighborhood. We need to know what the impact will be on quality of life issues like traffic, noise, garbage, parking, crowding on subways and buses, and about the impact on infrastructure. With at least 80% of these 1,000 plus units being market rate, we already know from recent experience in neighborhoods like Williamsburg, Lower East Side, Park Slope, and others, that many residents and businesses will be forced out due to increased rents and taxes. We need to work to prevent this from happening. So I'm advocating a go slow approach to better understand the impact of the density increase that is already underway. Get more input from the community. Work to preserve all the affordable and regulated apartments we have now. And try to arrive at a consensus around what we'd like to see happen in the neighborhood in terms of future development. This is a critical time and process for this neighborhood. If we don't want to go the way of all the other New York City neighborhoods that have lost their character and diversity, we need to be really intentional about what we're doing and be fully aware of all the possible consequences of our actions. We need to make decisions for the long term on this, because we're the only ones who will. The politicians can't. They're under too much political pressure to add more affordable units. And the developers won't, because their main interest is short-term profit. So the future of the neighborhood rests with us. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Berger. Yeah, please, everybody hold your applause until the speaker's finished. Thank you.
I'd like to request that CB9 vote to rescind the zoning resolution that passed with great confusion on September 23rd.
Yeah, you gotta hold the mic directly to you.
Okay. You hear me now? Okay. Sandra Scobler. Because the community doesn't want to experience what happened in Williamsburg, our politicians are calling Brooklyn the brand. Coca-Cola and Honda are brands, and brands look to maximize profits. Boroughs are not brands. They're a collection of communities in which people live, work, know their neighbors, and strive to realize their dreams for themselves and their children. Our politicians say building hotels and high-rises will create jobs for kids who've never had them. Please tell me where that has ever happened. Construction companies hire people with certified skills in the building trades. They don't hire unskilled labor. And upscale retail stores won't employ kids who don't speak standard English. Just look at who prospered and who didn't in Atlantic City and the Atlantic Yards. Not to demonize the people who move into the high-rise, but guess what? They'll be in this community, but not of this community. They won't be sending their children to local public schools, which will continue to deteriorate. Just look at what happened in Hoboken, New Jersey. Why are our politicians trying to persuade us to take our greatest asset, the land, and sell it to the world's highest bidders, the 1%ers of China, Canada, and Australia? Wouldn't it be better to build housing that teachers, firemen, musicians, and cops can afford? Because they and the working poor are the foes being priced out of Brooklyn by luxury development. So I ask, why is our political imagination so small, so timid? New Jersey has created economic opportunity zones in blighted areas by dropping the sales tax to 3%. Why aren't our politicians fighting for that on the Empire Boulevards of Brooklyn? If we have the political will, we can create the means for small businesses to flourish. Businesses that maintain our socioeconomic and racial diversity, sustain our community, and give jobs to kids who've never had them. Isn't that what CB9 should be recommending? Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Barbara. Karen Fleming? Is Ms. Fleming here? Okay. Jay Soren?
Hello, my name is Jay Soren. I'm a property owner in this district. I'm speaking on an issue that affects people in the southeast portion of the district. That is south of Lefferts, south of Lefferts, and east of approximately Brooklyn Avenue. The issue involves whether or not there is an oversaturation of social services in minority neighborhoods. I've went around my neighborhood, and there is a consensus of almost everyone in my neighborhood that has a problem with the city in terms of the placement, oversaturating social services. To give you an example, there's a charter school on East New York Avenue. Across the street from that is a building for the homeless and social services. And in addition to the charter school, a few houses down, there's a drug clinic where they treat people who have problems with meth. What they want to build is, they want to build 70 units, an 8-story building, right next door to 2 minority daycare centers with kids in it. The entire community is up in arms by them. There's a consensus on it. There was a vote in June before I got involved in the community. The official vote was 15 yes, 14 no, and 1 abstention. That doesn't pass. Yet the community board said it was approved. The community board claims that they don't have to count an approval. Yet Carl Miles has been here for almost 30 years. 15 yes, 14 no, 1 abstention is not a majority. If you take a look at the roll call, which I did a FOIL request, you'll see it's 15 yes, 15 no, and 1 abstention. In both situations, there was not a majority. And that public approval was what was necessary, because the money that's necessary, this is for a nonprofit organization called The Bridge. Approximately 94% of the money comes from your taxpayer dollars. The district, the place where I'm in, the census tract area, is overwhelmingly minority. And I'm asking Dwayne Nicholson, the chairperson, to correct the minutes. Very easy to correct the minutes. He corrected the minutes when his name was spelled wrong in approximately March or May. There's a refusal to correct the minutes and to say that this does not have community approval. This is necessary because there's going to be a building challenge with the building department. And I want to tell the building department that this did not have the proper approval. There's incredible conflicts of interest that go on in this board, including the housing committee. The head of the housing committee, Laura Imperiali, is a construction company lobbyist for Tully Construction. The deal, which is a conflict of interest in terms of voting and also being the chairperson, check the conflict of interest laws. So there's
Your time is up.
also
Thank you,
Pearl
Jay.
consistently denies me the files. Public access is on demand. I walk in there 10 times. She says you can't see the file. It's against the charter.
Thank you, Mr. Soro. Senator Thomas?
Hey everybody, I'm Tim Thomas. I guess I'd like to take a step back from some of the stuff that I've been saying on my blog. It's called The Q at Parkside. I actually agree with almost everything Alan Berger had to say. The only difference I have is that I believe that we should be moving forward at this point, having the community input with city planning in the room. Right now, they're waiting for us to come together and start to talk to each other. But right now, I feel like we're talking over each other. And I'd like to personally offer an olive branch. I actually believe that the real reason that we're experiencing so much displacement and hyper-gentrification has very little to do with zoning. In fact, we haven't changed the zoning. My block is going through enormous changes, Clarkson. Somebody mentioned that there are 2,000 or 3,000 new people moving into the neighborhood. We haven't even talked about zoning yet. 5 years ago, they were about to build a 23-story building on Lincoln Road, and thanks to the global financial collapse, we did not get that building, but we did not act then quickly enough. And so 5 years later, we have 626 Flatbush, which was the real reason that I got involved in this fight. This goes back a year and a half now. I believe that that building has no place in our community, and had we acted before and quickly, we wouldn't be looking at that horrible monstrosity going on before us right now. So rather than fight each other, I personally would like to see us move forward. I don't know how many times we're going to have to vote on this particular resolution. In fact, I'm happy to vote on it until the cows come home. But while the cows are out there, they're basically going to build whatever they want. I would like to see us move forward. And lastly, I just want to say one thing about gentrification. I consider myself part of the problem. 11 years ago, I had the audacity to buy a house in this neighborhood that I love. It was the best house in the best neighborhood that I could afford. And now I'm watching all these other people do the exact same thing. And while we demonize all those people, I just would like to ask that a lot of us look inside ourselves and ask if we didn't, at some point, either us or our ancestors, do exactly the same thing. So rather than demonizing the people who want a chance to live in our wonderful neighborhood, I'd like to look for opportunities to build more affordable housing, which unfortunately right now the city,
Please, no outbursts. Please let the man finish speaking.
I believe that the buildings that we're losing rent stabilization to are not the zoning issue. They are actually large holding companies buying up properties. That's what we should be fighting. It's a different fight. I believe zoning is a red herring.
Thank you, Mr. Thomas. Suki, Sean?
I was going to talk about something different, but all the speakers were
Louder.
But all the speakers were great, so I just thought I'd touch on something Alan mentioned, which is that he thinks there should be more public hearings. And I recently got word of a town hall meeting being hosted by the Washington Avenue Botanic Block Association. It's going to be Friday, November 21st from 6 to 8 p.m. Our President Eric Adams will be there.
Oh, God.
And I'm told,
The speaker speak.
I'm told that you can email questions about zoning or affordable housing if you contact the Washington Atlantic Block Association. They have a website, you can look it up. And I just wanted to stress also that I agree with Alan that I think there needs to be more community education. If we can get some zoning workshops, something, for more people to participate and find out more about zoning and the zoning process, that would be great.
Thank you, Sugi. We still have a few more minutes. Does somebody else want to get up and speak? You got 3 minutes.
Oh, anybody can get up and speak? Oh, not you. Can I get up and speak? Oh, just go up, I can just go up there and speak? Oh, okay.
Listen, if we're going to speak, can I ask everyone just to form a single line down this aisle, please? And everyone will get a chance to speak. Thank you. To this young lady right here. Speak hello. You sign. You raise your hand first. 3 minutes.
We have 3 minutes. We got 12 minutes.
Good evening. So you announce your name. Everyone has 3 minutes to speak. Once the alarm rings, please be respectful to the microphone. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Ann Pruden. Good evening. I'm just serving these papers.
My name's Elizabeth Mackin. I live on Lefferts Avenue. I am mystified. For some reason, our community board is clinging to a resolution that will bring us the opposite of everything we said we wanted. At the Brooklyn Botanical Gardens listening session on March 17th, we told them that we wanted to downzone our community. Somehow that became increased residential and retail density along transit and commercial corridors. This means build tall and dense with on streets with train and bus access. We asked for preservation. We got adjust current zoning designations to conform to prevailing uses and densities. This gave city planning the green light to upzone streets like the ones in Crown Heights in Crown Heights South, that are predominantly single or two-family homes if there's already one apartment building on the block. We told them we didn't want towers or out-of-context development. Instead, Pearl Miles translated that to mean identify areas for inclusionary zoning. Who uses that language? It means find streets where the buildings can be 33% denser, taller, and sell air rights. We told them that we wanted to prevent the displacement of tenants. We got create opportunities for affordable housing development. We have seen how what is affordable to be open to broad interpretation. And with so-called affordable units come luxury units and gentrifying tenants. This is systemic gentrification, not the natural gentrification that Tim Thomas just mentioned. With 93% of our renting neighbors in subsidized housing, why would we want to risk undertaking policies that we have seen cause displacement in other rezoned Brooklyn neighborhoods? With the median household income of our renters at $35,000, now for homeowners it's $110,000, very few are going to be able to meet the income requirements for the vast majority of affordable housing being built. According to the mayor's housing plan, only 20% of affordable units are being built for households making less than $41,000. More than 20% of affordable housing is being built for households making more than $67,000. Our neighborhood is unique. We are the most crowded in all of Brooklyn with a density of 66,000 people per square mile. Bed-Stuy comes in second. Park Slope and Carroll Gardens have a population density that is 40% of ours. Just rezoning the first 2 blocks of Empire Boulevard to R7D, which is the transit corridor zoning, could increase the population of our neighborhood by 10% or more with 11,000 new people. Of course, the current resolution isn't talking about upzoning only 2 blocks of Empire. Our current resolution seeks to increase density along transit corridors. That means Washington, Flatbush, Nostrand, Rogers, Bedford, Franklin, Ocean, New York, and Clarkson Avenue. Put another way, 101 blocks of our neighborhood are on the resolution to be zoned for increased density. I have one more sentence.
All right.
If developers take full advantage, we could become
the most crowded community in all of the entire New York City area.
Thank you. Next one. Please, we have 3 minutes. Thank you.
Okay, you have 3 minutes. Your name?
My name is Wilma Marshall, and I'm a resident of Leverage Manor for 28 years. I do not want to see any high-rises built on Empire Boulevard.
No place in Crown Heights.
I don't want to see them anywhere in Crown Heights. This will displace many people of color who have been living in the area. Some grew up in this area just like how I have, and I'm against it. And I think that the resolution needs to be rescinded. I give the rest of this to Alicia Boone.
Okay, following up with that, the community board has just been served with papers, and those papers basically talk about the fact that they cannot limit the community's talking. The open session should be open until the community gets finished. It's unlawful to deter anybody at a community board meeting from speaking. The open meetings law requires that the community do not have a time limit as far as the open session. So I just want that to be clear. They have been served with papers because of their violations of the city charter, the Constitution, and the open meeting law. We will be going to court with them. So I'm just making that very well known. Now I have a young man, and I'm going to let him speak. He's going to have his 3 minutes, along with whatever minutes we have left over. And I'm going to tell you his story.
2, 6, and then you're 2.
I want you to look at this young man, and I want you to understand why I carry on the way that I carry on. I used to be a teacher, a kindergarten teacher, first grade teacher, elementary teacher. This is my students, right here. This young man has an eviction notice. Yesterday, he has the marshals ready to come and throw him out. This is what we're saving. This young man will now have to be a part of the homeless population. That means when these children, 60,000 of our children, will go into the shelters and be put out of their homes, they will suffer. They will suffer. You know, you've been there. You know what it's like to be abused as a child. You know what it's like to be sexually molested and victimized. That's what these children are going to face. They want to remove 100,000 people out of this community, and 60,000 will be children like him. We have an obligation. My obligation is not to you. I don't scream and holler for you. I scream and holler for him and all the children that will be gone. His mother has an eviction notice for tomorrow, yesterday. I called up the social services, we got him a lawyer, we got her a lawyer. She went for one of those temporary orders. They just ignored her. I've been calling, the lawyer's been calling.
I'll go to her
But what, for what?
to do the order to show cause.
We already did the orders for show cause. We were able to stop it for just 1 month. Social services won't return our phone calls. Our elected officials are not responding. But this is what's happening to us everywhere in this community. Our children are being displaced. We're going into foster homes. They're going into doubling up in other people's homes. When I asked Eric Adams, what do you think those storage units are about? He told me it's because we have too much stuff. And I said, no, it's because we're being pushed out. This mother is about to sit there and take all of her stuff and put it into storage. That's what those storage units are up there for, because they already knew what they were planning on doing in this community, and they planned it. They planned it. Do you understand this is a concerted, conscious effort to remove us from this community?
Thank you, Boyd. We have time for, you just had 3 minutes.
No, that was his 3 minutes.
You started out with someone's 3 minutes.
I started out with 3 minutes for her and 3 minutes for the
We're not other people who would like to speak, Ms. Boyd.
3 minutes. I would like
We have other people who would like to speak.
to.
listen, now I asked you this. I went to Assemblyman Mosley's office. Assemblyman Kareem Kamara came to me and to my group and said that he was representing people who wanted upzoning on Empire Boulevard that lived on Sterling Street. Am I right, Kim?
You're right.
So I want to see your hands raised. All the people, excuse me, all the people who want upzoning in this community. Please raise your hand.
Nobody.
That's his constituency. That's his constituency. He said our constituency wants upzone on Empire Boulevard. But I tell you, who is his constituency? If it's not us, then who is it?
The politicians.
Then who is it? It's the developers.
That's right.
That's the crookedness in our community. They will not stand here. Do you see any politician here? They won't even come and face you. But you vote for them. And you put them in office. Again and again and again. And when it's your homes on the line, when it's your children on the line, where are they? They disappear. They disappear. So I fight. And I'll keep on fighting. And I'll keep serving papers. Okay? Because we who will? Our ancestors fought for us. They died for us. They got burned for us. And they got lynched for us. And we should do the same for him. Because that's our future. And if we let them remove us, and we let these children go into these homes and into the shelter, we should be ashamed of ourselves. We should be ashamed of ourselves. Because our ancestors died for us, so that we could live free. And we got to do the same thing for us.
That's right.
So please, don't you allow this community board to pass any resolution that talks about upzoning any part of this community. Because one skyriser is the doom of us. Please, and we're fighting. And we're going to keep on fighting.
That's right. That's right.
Please.
Okay, we move on tonight. First order. It's now 7:34. That's the end of the public session. I'm sorry. We have to move on. I'm sorry.
We have the public session, now we're going into business session now. We gave from 7 o'clock to 7:30. I think we can begin this.
We're moving on to new business.
You don't hear these people.
You had a half an hour.
Please give your attention to Tim Thomas. Hey, everybody, I just want to clarify the rule. I was recognized.
Okay.
Folks, this is the guide to parliamentary procedures for the New York City Community Board.
Okay. Wait a minute.
Personally, I would like to hear from everybody, but there's no charter requirement. There's no charter requirement that we keep this meeting open indefinitely. We have the right, according to these rules, to set a limit on the amount of time for public discussion. The rules are right here. If anybody would like to see them, I'll be up here with the rules.
There was a half an hour of public discussion we just had, and it was closed. Wait a minute. Now we said we had a half an hour public discussion, which we just had. We had a half an hour of public discussion. That is not over. No. The law is silent with respect to public participation. While it has been advised that a public body does not have to allow the public to speak, many choose to permit public participation. Now you had what? You had half an hour. I'm sorry, the period is not over. You have to move on to your business. Now people are waiting impatiently for half an hour to do what they have to do. They're moving on to new business. Dr. David Ornstein, please come forward. We had half an hour of the public discussion. I'm sorry. We're not going to say it anyway. That's what we have.
We don't want to hear what we have to say.
You're ready, please, let's do the presentation.
Let me speak. I want to know, because they can hear me. There were 4 or 5 people. I stood here peacefully with what I had to say. I want to understand now why it is that you don't want to hear which one is okay, 10 minutes, 12 minutes. Why is it that you don't want to hear and you just said you're all saying the same thing? You don't know what I'm going to say. You should hear you speak. I don't know what I'm going to say.
Okay, we left a half an hour of public discussion, and we have now done that.
We're not done.
We are done. We're moving on to the public discussion. We are done. The public discussion is now closed. We're moving on to the public discussion. Because we left a half an hour for that. I'm sorry, man. We're moving on to the public discussion. Ma'am, we just had a half an hour of the public discussion. I'm not missing the point. We gave it a half an hour. People who are out all day, they're ready to come up with presentations, please. They're ready to come up with presentations. This is their house. Now you're going to not do a talk in their own house? No. Dr. Ornstein, if you're prepared, please come on up and give your presentation. Dr. Ornstein, please.
We're going to go on to the business session, Mr. Chairman. And we have other speakers to speak. Ms. Megan Levis, colleague.
Let us speak. We're the community. That's right. We're the
Mr. Ornstein. Okay, and you're going to have one, you're going to have...
That's right. Get together, understand.
Hello?
That's right.
Hello? I'm Dean Jones of the college. I'm Dean Jones of the college. With all due respect to the community, Dr. Ornstein has agreed to give up his time so that you can speak for the 15 minutes. I think everyone here wants to hear, but it's 15 minutes, that's it. So if those, please, so I know we can't do that, Ms. Boyd. We can only do the individuals who are here right now.
There were 5 people.
Out of respect to Megan Evers, the individuals who are already here, won't give you those 3 minutes out of 15 minutes. We still have other speakers here this evening.
There were 5 people. Okay, people up. 5 people. Come in, man.
But should this announce your name?
Good evening, everyone. My name is Maxine Barnes. I've been living in this community for 35 years. All of those 35 years, I've been actively involved in its improvement and its quality of life. President of the Block Association, member of the 71st Precinct Council, and member of United Coalition of Block Associations. And the struggle continues. I do not want luxury high-rise buildings in our community. I want to preserve and keep the character and integrity of our community, and foremost, the heart and soul, which is the people. And we all want to know, okay, who is going to be able to afford these alleged luxury high-rise buildings? Affordable for who? And the answer is not affordable for us. The hard sell 20% affordability promised by community board, city planning, and local politicians never materialized. It hasn't happened in Harlem, downtown Brooklyn, Williamsburg, Bed-Stuy, it will not happen in Plegma, Crown Heights. We are told to let the process play out and let the study go on. Oh yeah? How did that work for Bed-Stuy, for Williamsburg, for Harlem? It didn't work. Affordable for who? Wealthy new residents. The continued push for upzoning is because history has proven that upzoning brings wealthy new residents who come into our community in droves for these high-rise buildings. Gentrification, AKA wealthy, has proven to dispossess and displace middle-income and low-income residents. It pushes middle-income and low-income residents out of community. It has proved to traumatize and psychologically scar children. When families are dispossessed and displaced, increased crime is inevitable. Crime will raise. 20-cent affordability scam and the application of the elusive 2080 rule. Based on this 2080 rule and alleged inclusionary zoning, real estate developers must voluntarily provide a mere 20% affordable housing to residents, and in return, they receive 30% more floor space. Here's the scam, the tricky math that was not designed for you to understand or ever allow middle-income and low-income residents 20% affordability. For 2013, New York City HUD reports New York City medium income at $85,900 for a family of 4. Medium income for our community, $39,250. Bloomberg's 10-year affordable plans define low income as $42,000. Most of the affordable plan is based on Bloomberg's plan. Residents must fall in the following parameters. Low income of $42,000 to middle income of $140,000 for a family of 4. Scandalous to think under 42,000, you are not considered, and at 140,000, you can receive subsidized housing. Come on. In Harlem, after all the tricky math, 5% of the people got affordable housing. No matter how many workshops sponsored by local politicians to allegedly teach us how to fill out these applications, they were not designed for you to be able to qualify for this elusive 20% affordability. Don't let divide and conquer defeat us. It's not white against black. It is not home ownership against renters. It is about middle and low income current residents being pushed out of their community. We want to preserve the affordability that we already have. Remember, it wasn't affordable for Harlem, Bed-Stuy, Williamsburg. It won't be affordable for her. Dr. Maya Angelou said, when someone shows you who they are, believe them the first time.
Okay, next person, please. Please announce your name first.
Hi.
Let the speaker speak, please.
Thank you. Hi, good evening. I'm Judge Michael Gerstein. I'm an elected civil court judge, and since I heard that there are all kinds of lawsuits going on, I'm not allowed to comment on any of the gentrification issues, because if any of those suits came before me, then I wouldn't be able to hear, I wouldn't be allowed to hear the case. I can tell you, I've lived in Flatbush for 35 years, and before I became a judge, I was the president of my neighborhood association, and a lot of other things. Now, I want to talk about something totally different for 2 minutes. I'm actually assigned not to civil court, but right now to criminal court. We have a big problem in Brooklyn. It's called DWI. And in June, we started a part of criminal court that does only DWI cases. And I am the judge in charge of that part. We have 1,000 active cases awaiting adjudication for driving while intoxicated. We have another approximately 1,000 cases of people who have already either been found guilty or have taken pleas of guilty to driving while intoxicated, and they are in various programs, some of which last up to a year. We are going into the highest season for DWI between Thanksgiving and the end of the year, when you have all the parties. And we get a wide swath of people in DWI. I've had lawyers, doctors, accountants, bankers, and just plain old folks. So I'm asking you, if you're going to a party, please think before you go to the party. If I'm drinking, how am I getting home? Am I taking the subway? Am I taking a cab? Am I going with a group of people where somebody is going to be the driver who isn't drinking? If you get convicted of driving while intoxicated, in addition to having a criminal record, because it is a crime, you can start off with the fact that you're going to have to take programs which will cost you minimum of several $100s. You have to pay a fine of a minimum of $500, court costs of a minimum of $895. Your insurance is going to shoot up. It's going to be an easy couple of $1,000s. And if that doesn't convince you, think of your fellow residents and think of the person who is most likely to get hurt if you're in an accident because you're DWI. That's yourself. So please, I urge you, nobody's saying don't drink. Nobody's saying don't drive. But don't do the same thing. Don't do it together. Thank you so much.
Thank you. At this time, I also want to recognize Honorable Judge Ginny Edwards in the house today.
Hello to the community, the community board members. My name is Karen Fleming. I've been living in this community for more than 40 years now. I'm outraged at the treatment that the community is getting from this board. The minutes of the community board meeting of September 23rd is a shining example of why we are outraged. The minutes are not accurate.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
I was here for that meeting. And when I read the minutes, I had to print them because I couldn't believe what I was reading online. I printed them out and I said, oh, that's not the meeting I was at. I kept saying that to myself. That's not the meeting I went to. The community board has a legal responsibility to report accurately on what happens in a meeting. Do you all imagine that the community cannot read, that we do not hear, that we do not understand? I don't understand that. Shame on you. In the minutes of September 23rd meeting, much emphasis was placed on the civil disobedience that occurred. Ladies and gentlemen of the community board, you took us there. This is the United States of America, imperfect though it may be. It is not a monarchy, a caliphate, the Soviet Union, or Nazi Germany. We have the right, indeed, the responsibility to engage in civil disobedience when the powers that be, like you, will not hear us. Democracy is not a spectator sport. Process is put in place to protect the community. Community boards are not supposed to use process as a tool to disintegrate the will of the community. Your derelict use of process is a citywide embarrassment. People are watching. Have you no shame? Double shame falls upon the heads of those on the community board who are pastors and preachers and rabbis. You are called to a higher moral ground than the rest of us. Yet, here you are, changing money in the temple. It should be clear by now that the elephant in the room is not leaving. Moreover, since the elephants are a herd animal, they run in packs. So their number is likely to increase as long as you are running the house as you are now. I urge you to urge you all to consult your conscience if you possess one. And the rules of the community board.
My hat is off to that lady in the purple. I'm so sorry I had to. My name is Kathy Quarles, Lynn Quarles to a lot of you, to the ones who know me. I live at 28 Stoddard Place. I've been living there for 13 years. I wasn't prepared to speak today, so I apologize if I'm not coherent. But I wanted to, my issues are really more fundamental. I don't know where I land on some of these issues, but what I do know is that I'm a reasonably intelligent person, and I'm always baffled when I come to these meetings. Votes are changed after the meeting is over. Votes are changed when you do your minutes. There's no transparency. Our local representatives are not even here. There's all this complacency. Nobody's listening to us. And I just feel every time I leave this meeting, I feel like this board is disingenuous. And you embarrass us.
Y'all need to be ashamed of yourself!
And I don't feel like you really represent us. So if you're not listening to us, if you don't represent us, just say so.
Resign!
Just say it. And let's treat this relationship between the board and the community like the adversarial relationship that it really is. And we'll work accordingly. If you don't really care what we want, if you're not going to represent what we want, if you're not going to listen to what we want, then let's call it an adversarial relationship, that you have your agenda and it doesn't match ours. Just say so. You can each just speak up and say what your real agenda is. And we'll know how to deal with you. So I just want to say,
But have more respect for you, that's for sure, if you resign.
just call it what it is, and let's stop playing this game where you do what you want anyway. And we know what to do.
Thank you, Ms. Paul.
You tell me how to speak? Thank you very much. Okay, my name is Patricia Jackson, president of the Cow Street Block Association. Also, I'm a proud member of Crown Heights Tenant Union. Okay? Powerful, powerful. And something else I wanted to say, but there's so much going on in my head, I just can't think of what it is. Okay, but that's neither here nor there. The problem is what's happening in Crown Heights. First of all, these developers and these politicians are in bed together. Okay? The deal is done. All right? The only thing to remember when this election comes, get these son of a bums out. Okay? And I'm watching my mouth, okay? Because I got a very dirty mouth, okay? But we got to get these bums out. Okay? We got to get people that's going to fight for us. This was in my mind. God put stuff in my mind. There was a guy named Jesus Christ, right? And he had 12 disciples, right? And out of his disciples, one of them was what do you call it? One of them betrayed him, right? For what, 30 pieces of silver? Okay, and they turned on, this Jesus Christ, the brother was, there's not enough good words to say, because the brother was really down. But anyway, what happened with this Judas guy, right? Betraying Jesus Christ, for what, 30 pieces of silver? Not gold, silver. So, dig this. I want to know, what's your price?
Thank you very much. So that's the public discussion period. And we're on to Dr. Ornstein.
Good evening. Good evening. I'm rarely speechless, but tonight has shown me why they say information is power. I'm the chief librarian here at Medgar Evers College, and I was asked to speak to you tonight to tell you about the services that are available in our new library. A library that's open to the community as well as it's open to the students. A lot of people are saying, yes. If you have sons or daughters or husbands or wives or cohabitators who are students here, this space is open to them as well. But this space is really built for not just the 21st century, but built for the 22nd century. It's a beautiful space, and if you've not seen it, you've probably heard the construction for the last 2 years. And you might have even been annoyed by the construction. But it was money well spent and time very well spent. So I just wanted to spend a couple of minutes and tell you what we have available to our students, available to members of the community, and to let you know that our library is open till 11 o'clock at night. Most public libraries are not. So let me just quickly go through this, and then if there are any questions, I'd be happy to answer your questions as well. But I do thank you for welcoming me, and I wish everyone good cheer. So the library usually this is one of the later slides. I moved it to the, and what's an academic presentation, without PowerPoint, we do offer on-campus reference services, on-campus services, and most importantly, to access to the computers, which then gives you access to several hundred databases, which gives you entree to thousands of full text, full image databases, journals. And they are available to you as they're available to our students. We also, of course, allow people to use our book collection. So while borrowing privileges are not available unless you're affiliated with the college as a student, if you come in and you care to read it, we actually have a wonderful children's collection. So if there are caretakers who want to bring children into the library, although we're a traditional academic library serving the curricular needs of the students here, and it's a growing population of students, we'd be delighted, of course, if you're a caretaker and you want to stay with your child and read some of the children's books to them, there's space for you here. This library, it's brand new, but it has the same DNA as the Library of Alexandria, as I like to say. That is that the information that we carry is for everybody. Knowledge is about democracy, as seen tonight. And clearly what we like to offer within our library is also part of that aspect of democracy. This is just some of the scenes, and actually as you leave tonight, which will probably be around midnight, you can see our library. We actually have some really nice artwork in it now, but it really does focus on the students. It's I believe, the best technologically advanced library in all of the CUNY system. So you're not schlepping or going to Brooklyn College, or you're not going to any of the other, or Kingsborough or any other schools in the neighborhood. This is a neighborhood resource for you as well. We do offer, sadly not for the public yet, but we offer a tremendous amount of technology training. So if you are a student, or if you know somebody who's a student, please understand that they are in very good hands. Because sometimes we don't even know what the question is that we have to ask, let alone how we have to find it. And one of the goals of the library is to help you be able to reach that internal point where you can then become a knowledgeable person. So we really do treat our students and our faculty, who are also equally wonderful, with kind hands. There are research spaces for faculty. Just to let you know, if you're thinking, or if you're planning to come to Medgar Evers College and study, the library offers a laptop loaner program. We have expanded services for interlibrary loan. We have a growing recreational reading collection. We have as many e-books as we do regular books, which tends to be the trend. And then we have over 200 interdisciplinary databases. In a typical week, we'll see about 2,100 students. There are only about 6,500 students who are here, so we get a lot of repeat business, which is very, very healthy. We answer about 2,000 reference and research questions, and we also support questions or issues related to technology. Now, when you come to the reference desk, if you're a member of the community, no one's going to ask to see your ID. Okay? We're not asking to see if you are a Medgar student. Okay? If you're in the door, your family. We also have a lot of internal partnerships, and we're working on a lot of other programs as well. And that sort of ends the presentation. Just to let you know, we truly believe in the library, and I believe this college really does stand for knowledge and the advancement of human civilization. And if we can partner with anyone here and anyone here, it is our delight to do so. I'll end with that, and I'll answer any questions you might have. Great question. We are...
What was his question?
I'm sorry?
I'm sorry, could you say it out loud?
Oh, yes, the question is, what are the hours of the library?
Oh, okay.
So Monday through Thursday, we're open from 8 a.m. in the morning until 11 o'clock at night. And the moment we open, there are butts in the chair. I mean, that's the beautiful thing about this. This was not wasted money at all. No one wasted time or money on this project. On Fridays, we are open 7 days a week. So if you can't come during the week, we're open on the weekend. And typically we're open 10 to 6.
Yeah, I want to ask a question.
Certainly.
I'm a student here at McDavis College. I'm coming back student, okay?
Wonderful.
But my main thing is, I'm from the old school.
Okay.
Okay? This technology, I have to learn, because that's what's happening.
Okay.
So when I walk in the library and I go to those people behind the desk, I can ask somebody to help me with all this technology stuff?
Absolutely.
Oh, and they'll help me?
What? Absolutely. You are our bosses.
Okay.
Okay?
Now remember that now.
Oh, no. And it's not just me. No, it's not just me saying this. I mean, you know, we live and die by how well we can create a more informed student. That helps with retention. That helps with success. Because, you know, as I was saying in another meeting, it's what you bring to the table. And not so much what you bring to the table at work, but what you bring to your home table. How you're able to care and help the people who are the closest to you. And that's one of the things that libraries do help with an awful lot.
So suppose these young kids want to come, just one more question.
Okay.
Suppose these young kids want to come and learn all this technology stuff.
Okay.
What ages are you putting limits on as far as these young people are concerned?
If you're in utero, you can't come in without a parent. But after that, generally, if you come in with a parent, we'll certainly help you. Now, we have to remember that we're a college library, so we're not public library focused in that we're not going to do a lot of programs for children, things like that, because our students have to come first. They're the ones who paid for the service. Okay, but that doesn't deny anyone access to come in, ask questions, browse our collections, do anything like that. Yes?
When the community comes in, is the access to the internet, is it time? Does it depend on how many people are waiting? Like the public library, I believe it's a half hour, you gotta get up.
No, there's no time. The only thing we have to do though is be respectful that if a student is waiting because they, like I said, they paid with their tuition dollars to access this library, we ask that members of the community be respectful and give your time back to the student. Yes? Oh, that's an excellent question. You really can't see from this picture here, but I believe we have about 150 terminals on 3 floors. So there's usually, and we have both Macs and PCs. Yes.
And you have free Wi-Fi available? Like you bring your own?
This whole college is free Wi-Fi. Yes, but if you come into the library, you should be able to get on free access. Yeah.
Okay. One more question, then we got time to move on.
Just a point of clarification, if someone from the community comes, how would they borrow a book?
Sadly, we don't allow borrowing of materials. If you want to come in and browse and sit and spend the whole day, we're delighted to have you, but we don't lend the materials. Yeah. However, if you come in, now hold on, there's always a worm. If you come in with, let's say, if you have some technology, it could be an iPhone, it could be an iPad, laptop, you get onto the wireless, you want to use the ebooks, that's something that you can do as well. And depending on how good the Wi-Fi is, you know, if you're walking outside, you might be able to.
Dr. Ernestine, thank you very much.
It's my pleasure. Thank you.
Also, new business is Dean Jones, Medgar Evers College in the city of New York will inform the community about changes to the college and a new program geared toward the community.
I'm not going to be too long. Thank you. I want to commend Dr. Wernstein, first of all, for being our chief librarian here at Medgar Evers College. We're very proud of Dr. Crew, Dr. Rudolph Crew, our president, is very committed to serving the community, and the library has been something we've been waiting for the last several years. And please, they're giving tours. I don't know if you mentioned it. They are giving tours of the library as well. So do make time to take the tour of the library. It's an extraordinary facility. As you know, across the street is our Science, Health, and Technology building too. An extraordinary facility as well. Over $250 million is invested in that facility. And it's been a treasure for our students here in the science and technology and health areas. I came tonight just to kind of give you an update in terms of some of the things we're doing here at the college. As many of you know, during the past spring, we had an annual health fair, health day for the entire community and our students. And we're going to have that again this year. It's going to be an annual event. During the course of the summer, we brought back Jazzy Jazz, many of you know. That'll also be an annual event for us. Dr. Crew was very committed to that, as many of you may know. I don't know if you do know. His father was a musician, and he's very committed to making sure that our children are exposed to jazz as well. We also, last year during the spring, we had what we call the community education program. We provided Tai Chi, swimming classes, basic computer classes for free for the community. We will do that again in the spring and early summer. But we will also, I brought some materials here from our adult and continuing education program. They offer an extensive array of programs. Some I'll read off to you. I mentioned Tai Chi, painting techniques, writing fundamentals, creative writing, business writing, electronic technician training, life and rescue skills, again, swimming for arthritic individuals. Those of us who are getting older in age, we could use the swimming pool, so we'll have swimming as well. And a number of other, piano as well as going to be offered during the course of this year as well. The community, especially Community Board 9, has a reduced rate. You have a student rate for the adult continuing education program. One of the things that we were, and again, Dr. Crew has been very instrumental in this, is making sure that things are affordable for our community residents, and we want to encourage you to use our facilities as much as you can. You know, as I said, I wasn't going to be long, but I just want to mention one more thing. When Community Board 9 came to us to say we wanted to have meetings here, we were committed to making sure you had your meetings here. And whether or not we agree, we can always disagree in an agreeable fashion. And we're hopeful that as time moves on, that your meetings are an expression of community. Many of us may not agree with each other, but we all have to understand that we've got to listen to each other. That's one of the reasons why I kind of intervene. Again, Dr. Crew welcomes all of you here. He wants to thank all of you for your contributions to the college. This is your college. And some of you know the history of Medgar Evers College. We came out of the community, and we want to serve the community as much as we can, now and into the future. Yeah.
I just have one question.
Sure.
Other than the community, are you in the near future going to have open swim separate from the continuing ed for the community at a reduced cost? Or, because I had asked a while ago and it was an insurance issue. So I'm wondering if that's something you're looking into.
That's a good question. The question was whether we're going to have open swim because it was an insurance issue. We're very aware about the insurance issue. And that's one of the reasons why we asked you to sign up for the adult and continuing education program. If you're a member of that program and you're registered, then you're under our insurance. So we don't have to worry about liability. So that's why we ask that you register for the program. Okay? Yes, ma'am.
I know that there was a discussion, I believe, about a distinguished lecture series. I was hoping that you could speak to that, if it's kind of on the schedule or.
That's a good question. The question was whether we're going to have a distinguished lecture series. We've already started it.
Okay.
One of the things that we've done, we have electronic mail newsletters that go out to some of the community organizations, Evans Field, Tiffany Towers, Crown Street Block Association. So before you leave, please leave your email addresses with us so you can get our newsletters. We did start a global lecture series. President Crew is committed to making sure our students are global conscious. So we've developed a global lecture series for the entire year. And so we just, for instance, we just had an ambassador come and speak to our students and to the community several weeks ago. We will have one each month. There will be a lecture series. So that's a very good question, and you will be notified when the next one.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Hi, I have two questions. The first question is that I just went to the library, and they are doing a whole series on gentrification. And it's because, as you can see, this is a very hot topic.
Sure.
And a major concern, especially in communities, affordable communities. I wonder, is Megan Evans going to start to do something as far as educating the community about this very, very important issue? That's the first question. And the second question is that I noticed that there are certain community groups that are being allowed to use your facilities. And I wanted to know if that was going to be extended to all community groups or that it's only to select a few.
I'll answer the second one first, if I can. When community groups apply to utilize the facility, obviously they have to go through a process because everyone wants to use Medgar Evers College. So there are a lot of groups asking. So we're open to all groups utilizing, just as long as we have availability. Many of you may know, we probably schedule about 200 graduations during the course of our year, public schools, middle schools, high schools. So it gets to be a really compacted situation. Plus we're increasing our student body to over 7,000, 8,000 students. So our space is very limited, but we do look, we obviously consider all requests. They're equally looked at and considered. That's the answer to your second question. Answer to your first question, with respect to, how can I answer that? Why don't you ask it again?
Okay, there's a very important issue that we're facing.
The gentrification. Public administration, our public administration department is one of the departments, as well as in our School of Science, Health, and Technology. They look at all the issues. And I'm sure that the library, they have a series of I guess, areas of focus that they look at each year and each month. So gentrification probably will be one of the issues. Our students, and we've got some students in the audience who are interns, who look at issues such as gentrification, look at stop and frisk, look at a number of issues that are germane to our community. So I'm sure that we'll be addressing that. And if you, obviously, if that's an issue that is dear to your heart, which I know it is, make sure that you see the librarian, just to get a sense of, and also some of our chairpersons of our academic departments who are specifically looking to address that issue. And you can speak to me afterwards too.
So if somebody drowns, if somebody drowned in the pool, right? They're covered. Y'all got insurance for somebody drowning in your pool.
Once again, let me just make myself clear. If you register for a program here at the college, especially in adult and continuing education, you are covered by the insurance of the college and the university. Now, if you jump in the pool, you're not in the program. Again, we love you. We hope you love our college. We obviously welcome all groups, and again, it's our pleasure to serve you. And again, I don't want to take too much time, so once again, thank you for just the opportunity to speak. I just want to say one last thing, if I might. Our law enforcement officers in the community do a great job. I just want to commend them for their service to all of us.
Thank you, Dean Jones. Dean Jones was very instrumental in helping us get to this new facility. I'll say a special thank you to him. Representatives from NYPERG and from the 71st Precinct Explorer Program are not able to attend tonight, but that'll include our public session. Now we're moving on to the business session. We have the minutes of the October 28th meeting. I'm sorry, we have to call the roll. Has all the board members signed in?
Have all board members signed in? Call the roll. Amy Albert. Patricia Baker. Here. Stuart Dalberg. Douglas Banks.
Present.
Fred Baptiste.
Present.
Warren Burke. Here. Josette Cucubio. Here. Milton Ellis. Sheila Foster Golding. Here. Jacob Goldstein.
Here.
Malcolm Brooks.
Here.
Tessa Hackett-Vera. Here. Sylvita Hamilton Gonzalez. Here. Aaron Hirschkopf.
Here.
Laura Imperiali. Here. Daniel Ingolstadt.
Here.
Louis Johnson.
Here.
Demetrius Lawrence.
Here.
Avi Leches.
Here.
Michael Liber.
Here.
Denise Mann. Here. Carmen Martinez. Here. Musa Moore.
Here.
Patricia Moses. Beverly Newsom. Here. Frank Nicholas.
Here.
Dwayne Nicholson.
Here.
Rosemary Perry here. Pia Raymond. Here. Diana Richardson. Here. Mary Rollison Blackett. Here. Brenda Scott. Here. Kenya Solis. Here. Chanina Sperling.
Here.
Joseph Spielman.
Here.
Yvonne Straker. Here. Ada Terry. Here. Timothy Thomas.
Here.
Evelyn Williams.
Members present, we have a quorum. We begin tonight with the minutes of the October 28th, 2014 meeting. Hoping everybody's had a chance to read them. Can we get a motion from the floor? Reverend Banks makes the motion. May I have a second? Baker? Baker seconds. All those in favor, say aye. Aye. Any nays? Any abstentions? Motion carries. Minutes of the November 3rd, 2014 meeting. Do we have a motion? Rabbi Gross? Okay. Warren second? Yep. All those in favor? Aye. Any nays? Any abstentions? Motion carried. District Manager's report?
Good evening, everyone. I just have a couple of announcements. Kings County Hospital
want to let the community know that there is an Ebola forum, an education forum on Ebola on Wednesday, November 19th at 6:30 p.m. It's going to be at Kings County Hospital Center in the T Building Auditorium, second floor. That's at 451 Clarkson Avenue, and it's at 6:30 p.m. And there's a group of pro bono lawyers who are interested in helping small businesses by providing free legal help. They're having a forum also at Brooklyn Law School, 250 Geronimo Street. It's on Wednesday, November 19th from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. It's free and it's for one day and it's for all small businesses, and they also have Spanish language translations for anyone who might need that service. So if you know any small businesses, any friends, neighbors, anyone that you know, this is free, and it's this Wednesday, November 19th at Brooklyn Law School. Thank you.
Thank you, Pearl. Next, we'll have our treasurer's report.
All right. Good evening, Community Board 9. I am Diana Richardson, the treasurer of our Community Board, and I'm proud this evening to present to you our fiscal year 2014 annual budget. The budget was emailed to all board members this afternoon. We're sorry for the short notice. I'm asking that the budget be placed on the CB9 website for all the community to view. But because I know there have been no hard copies disseminated, what I will do is give a soft overview on how our budget was comprised, a soft overview of the numbers spent, and then what we can do in the December meeting is if anyone has any inquiries after looking at all of the documents online, you can submit them to the board office and we can address them in the public session if need be in the December meeting. Sounds good? Okay. So the Community Board 9, well, let me just give a little history very fast. In November of 2013, Community Board 9 experienced the untimely death of our former treasurer, Mr. Carl Morgan. At that time, the treasurer's position seat sat vacant for some years. Months, and then I became the treasurer in the spring. So in June, I caused the semi-annual financial report, which was accepted by the board at our June 24th meeting, and now I'm doing the entire full budget report. Our budget is split into 3 sections. We have our personnel services section, which is our employees of the board. The city has roughly given us $167,011 in this area. However, Community Board 9 only uses $140,711 of these dollars. We have the other than personal services portion of our budget, which is how we do our expenses, such as supplies and printings and things of that nature. We have been allocated $24,226, but this year, Community Board 9 spent $38,300.25. I'll address this after I go over the rent and energy budget. The rent and energy budget has been estimated at $41,983. We're doing pretty good. We've only used $18,054.81. Our budget is very simple. The money, it just kind of comes the same amount every year. It's not that much fluctuation of the budget. However, this year we went over greatly in our other than personal services budget, but this is not our fault. The community board experienced several leaks and floods in our office, especially over the areas where the cables are kept for the servers, the community board phone systems, the security system, which caused us to have to do a lot of repairs. There was mold in the ceiling, we had to take out some molding, we had to pick up the carpet, we had to replace all the wiring of the computer system. Just a lot of work has gone into the board office, especially in the May and June month of the budget. So when you look at those numbers, know that anything that jumped out to me, I indicated PWIO, which indicates paperwork in order. Okay, that means that those were purchases that jumped out to me as the treasurer, and I then went to the board office, combed through the files, and then verified everything to ensure everything was in place. As far as the community board files go, I must say, my mother always has a saying, you gotta give Jack his jacket. And with that stated, our board financial files are really kept in exceptional condition. There was nothing that I could look for, and anyone who knows me knows I was looking. If there was nothing that I could look for that was not readily there for me, okay? And everything was in order. I was checking serial numbers on items, all kinds of things, everything's in order. If anybody has any questions, feel free to come and ask me. I'm more than happy to answer it for you. In total, we were projected $233,260. But the community board only utilized $197,066. Someone asked me, Mr. Warren Burke actually, what happens if we go over in certain areas and under in other areas? Well, we just pulled from the areas that we were under in to supplement the areas that we were over in. So overall, we are under budget, okay? I want to give a special thank you to Mr. Warren Burke for putting all the fire under my feet to make sure that I present this budget this evening. Thank you, Warren. To Simone Bennett, who's always offered her services, Laura Imperiali, and especially Fred Baptiste, who helped me to critique it at the end and go over it. So, if no other questions, I will conclude at this time. Yeah, go ahead.
So we pay rent? It's a rental?
We pay rent. We have a contract. We have a 10-year lease on our property.
So the question is, with the leaks and things of that nature, how come that didn't fall on the landlord's responsibility? Is that something you can follow up and ask?
We're a commercial tenant.
I'm sorry?
I'm giving an answer, but go ahead.
So what does that mean?
We're responsible.
For your own problem.
We're responsible.
Is that always the case in every lease, commercial lease?
Yes.
Yes, go on.
Tim?
When we're under budget, we have a lot of issues in the community that we'd like to address. How much flexibility do we have to spend, the difference between what we spend and what we're allotted? Any? Can we
Minimal.
spend it on, for instance, the newsletter?
Minimal. And the newsletter, we got allocated funding for Matthew Eugene through Friends of Community Board 9 to produce. So that's
But
what
we don't really have any leeway about how we use it, so that we could buy new computers for the office, say, or something like that.
Minimal.
I hate to see money go
It's minimal, very
unspent,
minimal.
that's all.
But I mean, we can work it out through budgeting. We're just looking for things.
I just want to follow up to Tim's question.
Sure.
If you underutilize the budget, is there a chance of a cutback next year?
No, it comes in, budgeted for us. It's just what we do with it. All community boards get the same amount of money. Next question, yeah?
I was wondering
Yeah, you can come next.
if CB9 applies for discretionary funding from the elected officials.
We do, praise God, and I'm glad to see one of our council members in the building.
That could possibly cover the expenses for computers, the newsletter, and things of that sort.
Yes, so as it stands right now, Friends of Community Board 9 is technically separate from Community Board 9, although a lot of us, because of our involvement, mirror each other. So we have previously received allocations from Councilmember Matthew Eugene to help us with our newsletter. But we're going to be looking for funding from all of the council members in our immediate area this particular fiscal year 15 budget cycle to help with various beautification, communication projects and things throughout the community. So let me just talk about Friends of Community Board 9 very, very fast. Nothing too detailed, but just know that it does exist. Okay. Oh. Sorry about that.
one more question as far as
Go ahead, Kenya.
the rest of the money, similar to what Sam is saying, so we have an extra 25,000 that we didn't spend. Is that something we can work on creating, providing a service to the community with that money? For example, preparing people, so we can, it has to be used for specific.
Yes. So what we can do is, towards the end of the budget, like what you will see, the expenses were kind of minimal throughout the year, and then boom, in June, we were like purchasing all these things and doing everything that we needed to do. And that's because we don't like to try to spend too much up front and then fall short in the end. But what we can do is, and that's part of the reason, I don't want to get too deep, but when the bylaws comes in, I'm doing the report only annually, right? And that's what the bylaw says I have to do. But if we do a semi-annual report, then we kind of will know where we're at midway. And if we need to move money across lines and try to be creative on how we can spend it, then we can start, using brain power that way. Go ahead, Ms. Patricia. Go ahead, Jake, sorry.
Just for everybody to know about how government budgets, it's really important. You have to stick within the lines of your budget.
Yes.
You cannot use dollars for one thing and spend on something else. That's the fastest way to get into trouble, and people have gone to jail for those things. So everybody has to understand that. That's how a budget functions in the government, whether it's city, state, or federal. And in some areas, it's tighter than others. And we have to be very careful when we do those things, that we don't mix and match funds across lines to say, okay, let's just pay for this out of this. That does not work. What can work is, if there's a need, you can show it, you can then move the monies with permission. With permission, not just because you want to do it.
Thank you for that point of clarity, Jake. Pat?
Is the person that works for part-time?
Full-time.
Why does that sound so low?
Well, this is not, wait. This is not something we can discuss in this session, but what I will say is this. Just like we made a bylaws committee, we are looking at a personnel committee, and that's where things of that nature will be discussed and rectified if need be.
Okay.
Any other questions?
We gotta keep moving.
All right, thank you so much. Please look at the documents, and we'll come back and take any questions in December.
Committee reports. We have Economic Development Committee, Warren Burke.
Yes.
Hi, Warren Burke. As you know, I'm from the Economic Development Committee, but I'm going to put that on hold for a second. I want to talk about the Bylaw Committee. The Bylaw Committee is a temporary committee that I've been picked to chair. I think it will probably be in existence for 2 months, hopefully. We'll get this. The important thing with the Bylaw Committee is the following, that we sent out an email to every board member about 2 weeks ago, and December 1st is the date that we need your input as to what you would like to see in the bylaws, what would you like to have taken out of the bylaws, etc. A very good thing to take a look at, you have all bylaws. I've been through all the bylaws of the Brooklyn Community Boards, and probably the most thorough one is Community Board 2, which I'm not recommending, but it's a great thing to review and to compare. Historically, I've done a number of bylaws for voluntary organizations, and you really have to look at what's not in there. So in order to do that, you need to do a little research. But we look forward to everybody's participation, whether from the board or the community. Just email me your comments. We're holding our first meeting on December 2nd, so we ask that all the input be on by December 1st. The members of the Bylaw Committee, I just want to introduce is Ms. Mann here, Doris Mann, Stewie Galbert, oh, Denise, I'm sorry. Stand up, Denise. Denise. It's me, I'm old. Thank you. Stewie, you want to stand up? Stand up. Simone Bennett. Simone's not here. And Michael Labarre. Michael. Those are the members of the committee. I want to thank them because it's a lot of work in a short time. The next thing is, and by the way, the December 2nd meeting, everybody's invited to. Community Board Office at 7 p.m.
Excuse me, is that on your website?
Is what on the website?
The
And no, not yet, because I just scheduled it today, but I assume once they get the agenda, it will be up as we do that. I scheduled the meeting today, so it'll probably go up, I don't know, tomorrow. The other thing I just want to hit is a very important thing is happening. There's a food co-op opening, and this is a real important thing for everybody in this neighborhood. It's the Lefferts Gardens Food Co-op that's opening on Empire Boulevard by Nordstrom Avenue. And it is really, number one, it's a community-run facility, meaning that it's private, owned by the co-op members, and to become a co-op members, I think the cost is $100, as well as there's a sliding scale that goes down to $25. They're having an open house this Sunday. It's important to support this because, you know, everybody complains about the quality food in this neighborhood, and this is something that can solve part of that equation. So I would really hope that everybody goes out and supports it. In terms of the Economic Development Committee, I'm going to turn that over to Pierre, who is just running with the whole ball in terms of shop local. So Pierre.
Good evening.
Sorry, folks, we just do a lot of work. Okay, Senator
How you doing, Pierre? I hope that how's the baby doing? Baby's doing fine? Thank you so much. Good evening, everyone. My name is Jesse Hamilton. I'm a New York State Senator. I just want to thank you all for voting me into office. I just came back from Albany this afternoon. And our district is a large district. We go from Sunset Park to Park Slope, Prospect Heights, Crown Heights, Gowanus, Flatbush, East Flatbush, and Brownsville. And we're all hearing the same concern throughout the district, and that's affordable housing. As you all know, the 421A exemption is going to be looked at next year. Also, the rent stabilization of $2,500 is going to be looked at this year. And I'm trying to talk to other senators to find out what we're going to do with the 421A. I think the 421A exemption should only be used for affordable and low-income housing. I think part of this 421A with the 80-20 rule is not in sync with the community. You know, because you have 80% market, 20% affordable, and the question is, what's affordable rent? You haven't defined affordable rent. What's affordable in Park Slope is not affordable in Brownsville. The MCI, capital improvement. You know, you have a capital improvement, it's paid for, so why do you continue to pay it? It's like rent a center. It's like you just keep paying and paying and paying and paying. And with the MCIs, there's no one's monitoring it. No one's monitoring to say the landlord actually did the work that you're paying for indefinitely. So that's something we're looking at also. And right now, we're trying to bring all the tenant groups together because we have tenant groups. I met tonight with the Flatbush Coalition, Tenants Coalition. We also have Brito in Sunset Park. So we need to get everybody together to have meaningful dialogue. Everybody's talking about affordable housing, but where do you build that? In order to get the affordable housing, we have to have a zoning question and deal with that. So there are a lot of issues that are happening. My office is across the street. You can come by any time from Monday through Friday from 10 to 5 p.m. I see Ruben here from my office, stand up Ruben, and Ms. Johnson from my office. And we have an intern, also, Richard stand up, Ms. Johnson stand up from my office, and we attend all the meetings. And we're here to serve you. Richard is from Brownsville, one of the young men we put on our staff to work with the community. So we're there for you. If you have a housing issue, if you're being harassed by your landlord, please let us know. Because many tenants who've been here for a prolonged period of time are being harassed out of their apartments. And with the city, the landlords file the RPIE, which is called the Real Property Income and Expense Form. And they say, this is the income I get, these are my expenses for taxation purposes. But when they go to the bank, they're showing a different set of books. And they're over-leveraging the building. So now they have to pay this mortgage obligation, and they're harassing tenants to get them out to pay this obligation. So we have to have laws in place that if you represent financials to the finance department, they have to be the same financials you show to the banks in order to get financing. So we're all for changing the community, but we'll make sure people who've been here for a prolonged period of time aren't harassed out the community. So we're here to serve you. We're right across the street, 1669 Bedford Avenue, and we even have a mobile office now. So we'll come to your block association meetings. And we started in Brownsville, we're doing the Sunset Park, so we go to each part of the district with a mobile office to let people know. Even having a mobile office at the local libraries. A lot of times people cannot come to us, so we come to you. So we're changing the dynamic. We have a lot of young people who can get out there and come to you. I just want to say that's about it. Oh, our gospel concert is November 30th. If you need tickets, call our office, 718-284-4700, 718-284-4700, to let you know what's going on. I see Lori Cumbo here, so she'll be probably talking soon after me, Councilman Cumbo. And I just want to say thank you, Dwayne, for doing a great job. Thank you for the community board members and the residents. Thank you for Captain Fitzgibbons and Alicia. Thank you for being here.
Well, I have a question.
Question, okay, I need my question.
Am I allowed to ask a question of you? State Senator, am I allowed to ask a
Sorry,
question?
Marion, that is the business session. Sorry.
Of course we can't ask a question in public. We gotta ask it in private. Let me
Pia.
ask a question, Senator. You all Senator, you all representative. Let me ask. Can we ask a question, Senator? Can we ask a question?
Okay, we're going to continue with the meeting now. So P is going to report on Shop Local. Thank you.
That's right. They let other people get asked, but we can't ask our representatives anything.
Okay. So good evening. Many of you know, hopefully I'll be able to give you a heads up with Shop Local CB9. This is the initiative that we're rolling out this holiday season, and that is because we see that many of us who have been in the community for a long time know that our merchants have been here for decades as well, and we really want to see them be able to sustain themselves and stay and increase their business. And we have many new merchants and businesses coming into the community as well that we'd like to highlight. So we're asking that the community really make a concerted effort to shop local CB9 this season. And we're going to begin this initiative Small Business Saturday, which is November 29th, and go through the holiday season December 31st. So we've asked merchants, particularly in the Nostrand Avenue corridor, Flatbush Avenue. We're now involved with Utica Avenue Merchants Association through the Office of Councilmember Darlene Neely, and also the Crown Heights, the Merchants Association of Crown Heights, which is headed by Richard Hurley. And we're really asking that merchants give specials, promotions, and discounts, particularly on Saturday, Small Business Saturday, the 29th of November, and a major shopping weekend for Saturday and Sunday, December 13th and 14th. So the merchants who are participating will show signage in their store windows to indicate what their specials will be, as well as balloons that will be outside of the businesses on those dates. We'll be posting a listing of the merchants and what they're offering on the websites of the various merchants associations as the time draws closer. And we really would like to see the community out and shopping. We're also asking if there are community artists who would like to showcase their work and would like to partner with a merchant who's willing to host you to come and let us know as well, because we know that we have a lot of talent in the community, and we're really using this as a platform to get to know each other, and for other communities who want to see what we have here to shop and keep our money and build revenue within our area as well, so we see sustainability. We're also asking for volunteers from the community for those 3 dates in particular. I'm sure we're going to need different things, even as far as making sure the merchants have the balloons and things they need outside their businesses, just sort of miscellaneous projects that may come up throughout that day. So we're asking for at least 12 volunteers in total for those 3 dates. So if anyone's willing to volunteer, feel free to reach out to Warren or myself or the community board office and leave your contact information. Thank you.
I just want to add one thing, and by the way, Pia is just doing a phenomenal job here, and thank you. The last time I was up here, I said we needed money. I did go to the elected officials talking about discretionary funds, and there are none from the elected officials I contacted. Now, I have not contacted Ms. Cumbo or Ms. Neely, but from everybody else, there's no money available. So, I went to the private sector, and we did get an event sponsor, but we still need more money. The event sponsor is PLS Financial Services. They have the check cashing places. There's about 4 or 5 in our area here, and they've donated $4,000, which is phenomenal. and that's going to be used so there's no cost to the merchants. But we do have a budget of $6,000, so if any elected officials that are here want to kick in, not a lot, like 500, it's fine with us, okay? But that's it. The other part is volunteers. We're also going to be having some free things on the street to attract people, and hopefully we'll get some of the money for that. Hot chocolate. Our main objective here is to bring out foot traffic for our merchants. So my last statement is that it's everybody's job in this room to go and visit your local merchants, because we can do everything we need to do, but if you're going to open your wallets and you can afford to open your wallets, please do it within Crown Heights. Thank you.
Thank you, Warren. You mentioned about the volunteers, right? You need more volunteers? How many more do you need? You need 8 more volunteers. I'm hoping that we can get some people here tonight to volunteer and help Warren out. Josette, Health and Social Services, do you have anything you want to add? Bessie?
No, good evening. I just want to encourage everyone, if you can, please go to Kings County tomorrow evening. There will be a fantastic session on Ebola preparedness. We are hoping also to have one of the speakers from Kings County at some point do a presentation for the community board. So please, you can attend, call someone, ask, invite, and so on. The session will be held in the auditorium, and there is a large capacity auditorium. Thank you.
Thank you, Josette. Next on the schedule is the chairman's report. So we're going to begin by recognizing some people here, elected officials and or the representatives. First, we're going to begin for representing the Honorable Letitia James, Public Advocate. Brian McLaurin, is he still here? Okay, I think he's gone. Honorable Controller Scott Stringer, Kenya Handy, is here tonight. I think she's also gone. Honorable Eric Adams is represented by Kelvin Alexander and Jamal Pollard.
Thank you. I just want to, on behalf, my name is Kelvin. No, it's okay. It's important that you do have what you have to say, because democracy is important, okay? And I want to compliment you and the board on your display of democracy tonight. Regardless of what you think, I thought it was a good thing. In fact, it was stimulating. But this time, I'm going to bring up my sort of liaison in training to do our report from our president. Give Jamal Pollard a hand, will you please?
Thank you. I didn't know I was going to be speaking this evening. Kelvin kind of threw me up here, but I'm going to wing it as best as I can. My name is Jamal Pollard. As he said, I'm a coordinator for the External Affairs Unit at the Brooklyn Borough President's Office, and this evening I have a few things I want to share with the community. We have an emergency contact information card, and this is for you to put, we suggest you put it on your refrigerator, and it has all your contact information if you're allergic to penicillin, or if you're under certain medication, the EMS, if they come and you can't convey that to them, this will have all the information on there for them. We have a Let's Talk East Brooklyn event coming up Friday, November the 21st. That's from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. at 209 Geralman Street, Brooklyn Borough Hall, and they'll be discussing events going on in East Brooklyn, Flatbush, Brownsville, and East New York, Canarsie area. We have partnered with a not-for-profit called Visions, and if you need assistance with your vision impairment, or if you're blind, you can go there and get your eyes tested and for free, okay? Another thing we have here is home safety tips, and basically inside here you have helpful information and telephone numbers that you can call in case of an emergency, and also helpful safety tips to keep you safe in your home. Every month, the board president has a message of the month, and this is this month's message of the month. So all of this literature is available on the stage behind the board, and you can, one last thing I have, outreach. If you want to be put on the BP's mailing list, you can just put your contact information on these cards, and you will be notified of all upcoming events going on at Borough Hall in the future. That's my presentation. Thank you for listening. Have a good evening.
Thank you, Mr. Howard. Our councilwoman is here tonight, Lori Cumbo.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. I really want to thank Community Board 9 because there have been a little bit more than just hints dropped for discretionary funding. So I've heard you loud and clear, especially from our treasurer. Thank you very much. We are going to begin the discretionary process in January. So it'll be important right now to start to think about and to strategize exactly what you want the funding for, who are the communities it's going to impact, how it's going to bring something beneficial to the community, and I'm sure you have all of that worked out. So please definitely let that be known. Sit down with Drew Gabriel from my office. He's on maternity leave right now, or paternity leave right now, but he will be back in the office shortly after the Thanksgiving holiday. So just wanted to add that. I am so open to the opportunity of providing discretionary funding. Wanted to add as well, one of the things that I wanted to let you know that's going on, that's acquiring a massive amount of time in our office, is what's happening with Brooklyn Jewish Hospital. As many of you may or may not know, there are potentially 700 units of affordable housing that are being pushed into market rate housing. It's owned by a development company called Alma Realty, and there is going to be a vote on the 25th of November at City Hall in reference to a project that they want to do in Astoria, Queens. And so we've been trying to link the future and the fate of this particular project in our district with that vote that's going to be taking place. So it's something that I've been working very hard on. It's something that I've been working with the administration on, because to lose 700 units of affordable housing in Crown Heights would be a serious blow and very detrimental to our community. So I want you to know that that's something that we are working very heavily on. Another thing that I wanted to thank all of you that came out to the several workshops in regards to the Armory. That's right across the street from here. And I really want to thank you. There were 2 series, and as you know, it was to get your vision and your feedback. The Economic Development Corporation, as well as the developers, are working feverishly to incorporate those ideas that came out of that particular panel. So I wanted to let you know that that's happening. Also wanted to let you know that, wanted to let you know that in addition to that, yesterday we had a ribbon cutting, if you will. There are going to be 3,000 jobs available at the Navy Yard as a result of a multi-million-dollar investment by the city in the Navy Yard. They're going to be primarily manufacturing, industry, entrepreneurial, technology, all of these different professions that we really want to get our youth prepared for, as well as our community properly trained. We have a partnership with Medgar Evers College and the Navy Yard to get the students that are here currently over there to make sure that there's a campus at the Navy Yard. I just left St. Joseph's. They are also preparing their students to be prepared for that level of investment that the administration has made into the Navy Yard. So that's another aspect that's going on that I wanted to let you know. In addition to that, just want to let you know about some events that we're hosting in the district. Just wanted to let you know, we've heard from many of you about the need for legal clinics and housing legal clinics. So if your landlord is suing you in landlord-tenant court, or if you have questions about repairs, rent stabilization, overcharges, or other rental apartments, we are going to be having the second Thursday of the month in my district office from 1 to 4 p.m. It's at 1 Hanson Place, and you can come for legal consultation. So it's the second Thursday of the month, but you should make an appointment because a lot of people do utilize the service. The next one, free immigration services. We're offering Tuesdays from 10 to 5 p.m. Again, at our office at 1 Hanson Place. This will be every Tuesday. The other one is free civil legal services coming to your neighborhood. This is going to be a mobile van. This is going to be at 1700 Bedford Avenue, November 21st from 10 to 3 p.m. It's going to be with the New York Legal Assistance Group. It's going to be on housing, public benefits, disability benefits, healthcare, identity theft, debt management, consumer credit, immigration, domestic violence, divorce, custody, employment, and so much more. Please come out for that. And then finally, the last one, and all of these flyers are here, will be the Tenants Forum, Wednesday, November 19th, 2014, from 6:30 p.m. to 8 o'clock p.m. at St. Joseph's College at St. Angela's Hall, 241 Waverly Avenue. So this is for anyone that has issues that pertains to housing code violations, housing court, rent protections for seniors and disabled persons, NYCHA, Section 8. If you have issues with bed bugs, there's been a huge bed bug infestation throughout Brooklyn, New York. So if this is an issue that you are having and you have questions about it, please don't feel embarrassed. Please don't feel that this is something that you have to keep to yourself. Please come out for this. Discrimination issues and many more. So these are a lot of the issues that are being focused on in the district right now. And so that's it for me tonight. So thank you all very much. Thank you. There's a question in the back? Yes, ma'am.
Wait. This is not public session. I'm sorry. You have to take that in the back. We're also over time. Please.
Take a question? Oh, okay. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. I defer to leadership. Thank you.
Next, we're just acknowledging. Next person is our Karen Crawford Model, representing the Honorable Kenneth Thompson. We had Jesse Hamilton and Ruben Lipkin here tonight, representing Jesse's office. We had Honorable Shirley Patterson's here. Please raise your hand, Shirley. For some reason, I see Honorable Lipkin here representing Councilwoman Darlene Milley, but she didn't sign in, so.
Why can't we ask questions? They come and they speak to us, but we can't. No, it's a public meeting.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Arna Lipkin. I'm with Councilmember Darlene Mealy's office. I normally don't run up here to speak, but I'd like to say a couple things. Number one, I think this meeting has come a long ways. The last couple months, we've seen a lot of clashing, a lot of controversy, but this tonight, I think we did a really good job, and that is thanks to everybody here, and especially the board, that we started out on the right note, that they gave the public session at the beginning, and everyone did get a chance to speak. So I think we are coming a long way, and we do have a ways to go, but again, like someone said here, we have to agree to disagree and keep the dialogue going, and there are a lot of issues here. So thanks to see everybody really engage. It's very, very important. Couple things that are happening in terms of the city. It's now HEAP season. You can apply for HEAP. So if you know anybody that needs help with your utilities, HEAP is a very good resource. I would like to say something also about tonight's meeting. Ms. Boyd got up, and the first thing she did was have a young man in front of her who had an issue. That's called eviction. We have that issue in our office very often, and what I did was, when she was speaking, I went to the back, spoke to the mother, and I found the rep that, it's not our office, but it's Councilmember Eugene's office, where the constituent lives, and I told her, we spoke together, showed her exactly how to try to solve the problem. We've done this in the past, where you can actually help someone going through an eviction within even 12 hours, gave her the context, et cetera, and hopefully we can stave that person off from eviction. So if you know anyone that is going through an eviction, even within 24 hours, you can send them to their local city council office, and they can speak to the marshal. You send them to One Shot Deal. One Shot Deal now is very helpful. They want to help people because it's a lot easier to help them with rental risk, that hopefully they can pay their rent going forward than putting them in a shelter, and that's a win-win for all of us. Lastly, I'd like to share, we have a couple events in our office, one of which is Pearl Harbor Memorial. We do this every year. This is our first time in Crown Heights. Do we have any veterans in the audience? I know one of them who is coming to speak, Rabbi Goldstein, and we're really excited. He is a seasoned veteran, and he's going to be one of our speakers. Well, I just want to say this year I went to my very first Veterans Parade. I was so touched. It was so exciting at that parade. I met someone who was a part of the mission to try to bring home the Iranian hostages. This guy was so touched that I was taking my time to talk to him. He couldn't even talk about the mission because unfortunately it failed. But the fact was he was in there working hard, and meanwhile, thank God we did get the hostages out. I met someone from the Korean War, one of the top units from the Puerto Rico, that these guys, he's one of the only guys that Barican unit. This is a very important to honor our veterans, and we are doing that on Pearl Harbor. We're going to have our memorial here in Crown Heights December 9th at Christopher Blenman Senior Center. So you're all invited. I have the flyer over here. Our Christmas tree lighting, that'll be taking place December 16th at St. Matthew's on Eastern and Utica. You're all welcome to that. Our flyer's in the back. I don't want to take your time, but thank you. Have a wonderful evening and a happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
Thank you, Anna. Mr. Boone was here representing member of his college tonight. We had Judge Michael Gerstein. We had Judge Jenny Edwards tonight. P. Ryan is here representing Green Camara's office. We also had Brian Hemkamp, who was representing Lori Cumbo. Samania Chimobi representing Councilmember Eugene. Fire Department reminds you to change your batteries and your smoke detectors and your carbon monoxide detectors, particularly now that we're starting to close our windows and doors for the winter time. 99% of people who do not have fire smoke extinguishers, smoke alarms die in those fires. So again, the life you save will be your own. November is Diabetes Awareness Month. We were trying to get them here tonight. Unfortunately, we weren't able to get them, but hopefully we'll get them for the future. The next deadline for the Neighborhood Grants Program is in January. Please make sure you begin your documentation now. I've already spoke about the bylaw committee. Kaisi Motley is here, I understand, from the mayor's office. I don't see her. She's in the back. Thank you, Kaisi. 31st Precinct Community Council meets the third Thursday of every month. Please, it's important to go to those meetings. Inspector Fitzgibbons is here tonight too. Thank you, Inspector, for being here. And also your officers for being here tonight too. The VP's office is having several workshops coming up in the next few days. Tomorrow, they're having transit representatives at Borough Hall for reduced fare Metro cards between 12 and 2. East Brooklyn Conference is coming up at Borough Hall Friday, the 21st from 6 to 9. There's going to be a toy drive at Borough Hall on Wednesday, November 26th to Monday, December 8th. Except the new unwrapped toys for kids aged 3 to 10. There's a free gospel concert, which you heard about already tonight. In an effort to bring our youth more involved, VP's office is encouraging young people to go to a meeting Thursday, November 20th from 4 to 6 in the Alban Library at Boys and Girls High School in Bedford-Stuyvesant. Students ages 16 and over can come and learn about how they can join their community board. And that's all I have for this evening. Oh, I'm sorry, one more. As Councilwoman Cumbo reminded me about, there's a job fair tomorrow online at usps.com from 1 to 4. That's all. Can we make a motion to? Oh, okay.
Hey, how you guys doing? I'm not going to take too much of your time. I just wanted to introduce myself. My name is Pierre Albert. I'm the new Community Relations Director for Assemblyman Kareem Kamara. My apologies that he was not able to be here tonight. Just want to say that our office is open and available for you. Our hours are 10 to 5. We're right there on Union Street. And we have an event coming up with the Office of Attorney General Schneiderman that we're partnering with Congressman Hakeem Jeffries' office. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank everyone for coming. Can we get a motion to adjourn? Aaron, second. Okay, thank you very much and good night, everyone.